Hey Joe,
Hi.
today I want to talk about controversial topic, which is gun ownership.
Okay.
This topic is really interesting to me because it's really hard to own a gun in Turkey, and as much as I know, all the European countries, at least most of them.
Yeah.
But it's relatively easier in USA. And recently there was a sad news come from Colorado, which is your hometown. A mass shooting in a grocery shop.
Yes.
Let's start with that topic.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, in Colorado, in Boulder, Colorado, there was a shooting in King Soopers where I believe 10 people lost their lives. So first of all, I want to say my heart goes out to the families and the friends of the victims, as well as anybody who is affected by this. My heart goes out to you, and I'll be praying for you to cope with this tragedy that's happened.
So how that happened?
A 21-year-old man went into King Soopers with a gun, and he started shooting people. I believe he shot 2 people in the parking lot, went into the store and started shooting more people.
And victims' age start from 21 and goes until 65.
Yeah, I think like 20 to 65.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder how a guy get into a grocery shop with a gun in his hand.
He walked in with a gun. It's pretty simple.
How he find a gun? You probably don't know, but
there's an investigation going on right now. They don't know whether he legally got the gun or illegally got the gun. But the fact is, he must have been mentally unstable and went into the store and decided to do harm to people.
Was the first mass shooting in USA?
No. There's mass shootings, all over the world, but this is definitely not the first mass shooting in the United States. There was one in the week in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's not the first.
As much as I know, previously there been mass shootings in Colorado, even in high schools. Like high school students going to school and shot lots of people. Is that true?
Yes. Yes, it happened at Columbine and at STEM. As far as I know, I don't know if there's any others, but yeah, it's an unfortunate event when that happens.
Those sounds like a young people who are reaching somehow to the guns. Do you think it might be related with the ownership right in USA?
Related with ownership rights in the sense that, yeah, they somehow acquired a gun. These high schoolers, though, some of them are younger than 18, so they did not legally have a gun, so they got a gun somehow illegally. But yeah,
what's the legal process to own a gun?
The legal process to own a gun. Okay, so you have to be 18 years old to buy a shotgun or a rifle, and you have to be 21 years old to buy a handgun. And you go through a background check and mental evaluation form, and the background check is a FBI background check that is more stringent than they do for people who work for the government.
This subject is really interesting and new to me. What do you think about the early age, in my opinion, about having an opportunity to own a gun? Because in my opinion, 18 or 21 is an age that people who are not actually, completed their education, being in a stable emotional status, because they're like teenagers, which has lots of energy in their mind. Do you think, is it okay? I don't know.
Yeah. So I think, you say maybe if somebody's 18 or 21, they might not be emotionally stable. I don't know whether or not that's true. I know that, so I own 3 guns, and my first gun I bought when Yeah, my first gun I bought when I was 18, and I never killed anybody. So to say that
I hope not.
All 18-year-olds are emotionally unstable, I think that's a false statement. Now, I can say that in the background check, they make sure you have no mental health issues in your history and no violent crime in your history, so they kind of screen for that before you buy a gun.
So you said you have 3 guns. What
Yeah.
are the types of them?
I've got a Mossberg 500 shotgun, I have a S&P 45 handgun, and I have a AR-15, which was the first gun I bought.
Do you using all of them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
When
you're
I-
using 3 guns.
Well, yeah. When I go camping or go to the shooting range, I usually bring the shotgun. I usually don't bring the shotgun, but I bring my SMP 45 and my AR-15 when I go camping or when I go to the shooting range. And shooting range, of course, is all set up in a safe way. But when I go camping, it's a big owning a gun is a big responsibility. So when I go camping with a gun, you have to make sure that there's a backstop. And there's a whole, I could go on and on about gun safety, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that you should do to make sure that you're shooting in a safe environment and to ensure that nobody gets hurt.
Do you think you need a gun?
Do I need a gun? I believe yes. I need a gun.
Why?
So the Second Amendment of the Constitution is the right to bear arms. So I believe that it's a very important right, and I believe it is the right that protects all of my other rights. First and foremost, it prevents my government from becoming tyrannical, because a large percentage of the population of America owns guns, and it prevents our government from going tyrannical, like for example, like Nazi Germany in the past. Nazi Germany became a tyrannical government, and it ended in the deaths of millions and millions of Jewish people.
Do you think German people or Jewish people on that time, if they had a gun ownership right and they have guns, there wouldn't be any problem?
So I think if in the past history, yeah, I think if Nazi Germany was kind of like the United States, I think that they wouldn't have even tried to round up the Jews and kill them, because the government would be I think an important part of government is the government should be more afraid of the people than the people should be afraid of the government. And Nazi Germany was not afraid of the people.
So, in a way, it's come to me like there might be even more blood than what it is. Of
Or
course, we
less.
cannot know. It's in the past, but
Well, the statistics show that there is less blood because of guns in the United States.
how that come?
Well, 39,000 people die from guns every year, according to the CDC. And anywhere from 500,000 to 2.5 million lives are saved because of defensive use of firearms every year. So exponentially more lives are saved every year than lost every year due to guns in the United States.
Okay, as a Turkish person, we actually don't have that kind of a right. And
Yeah.
personally, I don't think like I don't need a gun.
Yeah.
But there's a joke in Trabzon. In Black Sea areas, mostly population has a gun. I don't know why.
Trabzon, yeah.
Yeah, Trabzon especially. And in this joke, it says that there's a burglary going on, and a burger guy getting into the bank,
The
robber, raising his gun and asking for the money. And all the people in the bank taking off their own guns and kicking the robber away.
Okay, so you had the robber pulls out a gun, says, "Give me your money," and then everybody's like, "Nope."
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what
kick him out.
happened.
Okay, so that's a good example of.
It's ironical at the same time too.
I mean, I don't think it's irony. I think it's an example of where the people protect themselves with their guns. Everybody in the bank had a gun, and they were following the law. One person comes in without following the law and using a gun, all of the people protected themselves and their money.
When it comes to protection, what's the role of government then?
Well, the role of government is to protect its people, specifically the role of the police and the military. However, if you call the police, they take anywhere, it depends on the area, but it could take 5 minutes to get there or more sometimes. So in 5 minutes, that's definitely enough time for somebody to do harm to you, possibly kill you. Let's say we had no guns and a robber broke into my house. I could be killed before the police even get there. And the robber breaks in, I have a gun, I can at least try to defend myself and my family, my loved ones, in that 5 minutes it takes for the police to show up. So in the circumstance of immediate threat, the police can't really do much if they're not there yet.
Okay, I wonder something else. Where are they selling those guns in USA? Like, let's say I want to own a gun. Where should I go? What should I do?
The gun store. I mean, they're you can get them from gun shows.
Are they so common?
Yeah, they're pretty common. The closest one to my house is about 20 minutes away. The one I prefer to go to is Cabela's. That's about 40 minutes away. Yeah, there's sporting goods stores. There's sporting goods stores in the malls.
Really? Can I find a gun in a mall?
Yeah, there's in Southwest Plaza. There's a Dick's, and Dick's is a sporting goods store which sells guns. It doesn't have a big selection, but
It's really interesting because, like, before I enter a mall, there's like a security that checks if I have any metal on me or not. Like,
yeah.
but
in
I
the
can
United
go and
States-
get a gun?
Well, in the United States, we don't have those metal detectors like they do in Turkey.
Really? You don't?
No, yeah. When you go into the mall, there is no metal detector. There's no security checkpoint like they have in Turkey.
That's really interesting too.
Yeah. Another thing is your schools have them. Your schools have these metal detectors, security
Especially in
checkpoints.
colleges, universities. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and in the United States, the law says that you can't take firearms into government facilities and schools, some other places. So actually, I think that United States might benefit from adopting this metal detector security checkpoint for schools like Turkey has. Because firearms aren't allowed in schools anyway, so I think that would be a great start on securing our schools. We have more security for our airports than our schools in the United States, and I think that's a big problem. I want to point out, though, I don't think the problem is a gun. A gun is a tool that somebody uses for violence if they're not mentally stable. So I think the real issue is mental health.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
So mental health is the real issue. I think we should be focused on that. Unfortunately, some of my concerns are, like I said, I believe our Second Amendment protects our rights. And my concern is that generally a more liberal-leaning government wants for more gun control. And that's what we see right now in the United States. They're misusing terms. For example, the shooting that happened on Monday, they said that he used an assault rifle. He did not. The definition of assault rifle is any of various intermediate range magazine-fed military rifles that can be set to automatic or semi-automatic constitutes as a assault rifle. Now, it's illegal to own an automatic weapon in the United States, and they're throwing around this term assault weapon to scare the public into giving up their guns, I feel like. And I think that that's a very dangerous way to go about trying to stop gun violence, is changing the laws. Because who follows laws, first of all? Me.
Citizens.
Law-abiding citizens follow the laws. So therefore, changing the laws to take away guns are only going to affect the people who follow the laws anyway. The people who don't follow the laws, it's not going to affect them. And so we shouldn't be focused on taking away weapons from the public, because it's just going to take away the guns from the good guys, basically.
I also have an economical approach. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah.
From a point, America is actually a capital who manufacture and produce the guns all around the world.
Okay.
Do you think this sector is also seeing their own citizens as a buyers, as customers? Do you think that might be possible? Do you think that law that you have is supporting the sector?
Of weapons manufacturing. I mean, so in a capitalist society, the people vote with their dollar. So, I mean, if people are buying guns, definitely they would be supporting gun manufacturers.
Okay, before we end the video, do you have anything to say?
Okay, well, before we end the video, I just want to say that I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I believe that it saves more lives than it harms. Subscribe and follow if you want to hear more content like this. And again, I want everybody who watches this video, please send your thoughts and prayers towards these families of the victims in this hard time for them. I wish them the best, and I hope everybody else does too.
Yeah.
I hope everybody has a good day.
Yeah, stay safe.
Yeah.
Bye.